Friends, I'm standing in the market square in Krakow, Poland. Today is August 6, 2023, and it is the anniversary of the American bombing of Hiroshima, or precisely the atomic bombing of Hiroshima. Now, in the background, you can see the flags of Ukraine and Poland. And on the right, you can see the statue here of Adam Mickiewicz, who is a national poet of not only Poland, but Lithuania and Belarus as well. He's considered the greatest Polish poet. And in the background, as I said, what you can see is the national flags of Ukraine and Poland. We've seen them there since the morning. It's now late in the evening over here, and throughout the day, and in fact every day, there is an effort being made in this square to generate support for the Ukrainians, understandably. And in fact, about 10 minutes ago, there was a person there who was singing a song by John Lennon, a very famous song by John Lennon, and during the course of that song, he then, just shortly after that song ended, he said that, let's declare Russia a terrorist state. Now, I think Russia may well be a terrorist state. It's possible to believe that, although I think there are lots of nation states that may qualify as terrorist states. But as I said, it's a little ironic that I'm hearing all of this today on August 6th, which is the anniversary of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima, because one cannot think of many other crimes as egregious as this particular crime. Now, why did the Americans pick Hiroshima, and how did all of that transpire? Well, there happens to be a film that has just come out very recently by Christopher Nolan. The film is called Oppenheimer, and it's named after, of course, Robert Oppenheimer, who was the chief architect, the chief scientific architect of the Manhattan Project, the project that led to the making of the atomic bomb. All I really want to say at this juncture, to keep this very short, is that the Americans had engaged in the fire bombing, the carpet bombing of Japanese cities in 1945. In fact, Tokyo had been reduced entirely to rubble. The same holds true for a great many other Japanese cities, including Nagoya and Osaka. And the Americans had left a few cities untouched because they wanted to be able to measure the impact of the new bomb that they had crafted. So these were virgin cities, and Hiroshima was one of these virgin cities. It had not been previously bombed by the Americans, and when in fact the atomic bombing took place, it wasn't one single plane. There were in fact actually 3 planes involved in the enterprise. The second plane was a plane which actually measured the impact, because if they had thrown the bomb, let's say on Tokyo, they wouldn't have been able to measure the impact, since Tokyo had already been reduced entirely to rubble. So when we think about the atomic bombing of Hiroshima, I mean, the very instant when the bomb dropped, about 70,000 people died within literally 3 minutes. And I think what is important to remember, I'm not sure that anyone really is remembering this, certainly not in this square. It seems to be that to the extent that anyone is thinking about politics today here in this square, they're obviously thinking about the war in the Ukraine and the close relationships that have developed apparently between Ukraine and Poland, which is also very surprising. This is what might describe as the vicissitudes of history, because there have been many occasions when the Ukrainians accused the Polish people of trying to subdue them, and they accused the Poles of being ultra-nationalists, and of course the Poles said exactly the same of the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians were known in Poland for their brutality, in fact, which is one reason why many of the guards at Treblinka were in fact actually Ukrainians, disproportionately Ukrainians. And so there are a great many ironies today, but nonetheless I think the principal thing to reflect upon today, August 6th, the anniversary of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima, is what is the meaning of Hiroshima? What kind of moral threshold did humanity cross when it actually unleashed something called the atomic bomb?